Alright, I'm going to make a Star Trek ship. This is command viewer, and I'll let you know what hotkeys I'm pressing. Like if I press the 2 on numpad, you can see I'm in front view mode. We're going to select the line, circle from center, top one, and click, and we're going to drag out and click one more time. Got an option over here. You see you got 20 points. More points, more polygons. We want to keep the polygons kind of low. So less points, less polygons, but we still want to keep the resembled shape of a circle, so we can't go too low and we don't want too high. Okay, 16 looks good. I'm going to validate that. And what I'm going to do is hold the control key, and I'm going to drag in something like this, and I'm going to drag in, I'm going to attach a sphere here. It's going to be the top of the ship here. I got it facing towards me right now. I'm going to select an edge, and I'm going to be using this connect option right here, and what it's going to do, it's going to put an edge directly from the top to the bottom, directly in the middle. So let's ring this, and we're going to use the connect. Alright, now I want to do one here. Hold the shift key here, ring, and connect. I want a few of these, okay? Then what I want to do is I want to select some faces. And what I'm looking at is I'm kind of looking at this as a pie here, okay? This like this right here, straight up and down. This will be I'm looking the left side and right side, kind of like symmetrical. So what I'm going to do is let's say I'm going to select here and loop this, hold the shift key. I'm going to select on this side and this side. Then I'm going to hold the control key and just kind of extrude it out just a little bit like that. Alright, let's go ahead and get rid of that curve here. And another thing is some of these polygons I will not need back here, so loop this and delete key, because these are going to be hidden. I don't, less polygons. Alright, my next stage is these, I need to match how many points. So if I loop this, Control C, Control V, this indicates how many points out of the circle I have. If you look over here on the right, there's 16 points. Alright, let's go ahead and delete that. Remember, there's 16 points. And I know if I cut this sphere in half, I have 16 points. And I'll show you in a second. Alright, for some reason that you decided to not make the circle with 16 points, you might have to adjust this. So I'm going to leave everything at default here. On orthographic view, sometimes you have to click it twice. Face mode, and we're going to use activate transparency. This is going to be able to select the front and the back. When I select it, right click and drag and delete that. Alright. Alright, I'm going to tip this around like this, hold the shift key. I'm in universal manipulator mode. I'm going to grab this little transparency handle, and I'm going to bring it to the middle here. And when I get close enough, I'll hold the shift key and it'll snap right directly in the middle of both objects. Okay? Alright. I don't think I need all this here. I'm going to delete some more. I decided to change my mind. So I'll bring this out here. I think it probably look a little bit better. Alright. Now what I need to do, I need to scale this down. If you can see the sphere and the outer the spaceship head here, the edges are all flowing evenly together, is because this one also has 16 points. If I loop that and Control C and Control V that, if you look over here, we have 16 points. That's why it worked good. That's keeping the edge flows together. Alright, now I'm going to go ahead and scale this down to fit that hole. Alright, let's zoom in here a little bit closer. I'm just eyeballing this. Alright, when I do, I got a little gap here, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this utilities and use snap align. I'm going to select here, then I'm going to click here. I'm going to tap the space bar I probably need to turn it just a little bit and see the arrow. There's a little blue line pointing that direction. That's the way I want it to go. Sometimes you have to tap the space bar. See how it's green going up and down? Tap it again. I want it to go that direction. I'm going to put it on that other point and click, and it's going to go right to it. What I want to do is Control A. It's going to select both of these. Make sure you're in object mode. And vertex modeling and average weld this. To make sure this average weld and welded these together right, we'll select one edge and loop this. If it does not loop all the way around, it did not work. So pull on that and take a look. There looks like, let's see here. Looks alright. Let's take a subdivision level look here. And if you're unsure, a lot of times you'll see me selecting this little arrow here, not the lightning bolt. And when I do this, it removes the smooth. It's the same thing as going to 0. So if I was to press here and I remove this, I do this quite a bit. So the best way to do this is Control A in point mode. And we'll select here. Sometimes you can click this up, but you got to keep an eye on, make sure nothing gets else welded. If you click it once, that indicates, you know, all these points that are close together, they'll try welding, so you don't want to go exceed too far. And that should help everything weld pretty good. There we go. A lot better. Alright, now we're going to go on the next step. We're going to go ahead and mirror this, but we need to be on object mode. Use mirror and click here. Validate that. We got two objects and we're going to space these apart. Alright, that looks good. Control A, see how I'll select both of these. Edge mode, select this one and the other one, and loop these. Then we're going to use the bridge, and it's going to bridge these together. Okay, and another thing is, when I subdivide it, the edges are going to get too smooth, and that's not what I want. I want these a little bit harder, so what I'll do is select here and loop this. If it does not loop like you want it, like it's supposed to right here, you'll have to loop it again. Then we're going to use this edge tool, and it's the second one down. And this time I'm going to be dragging inwards. Okay, now when they get real close inwards, that's going to make it too soft. You want to keep to the previous edge. So the closer I do not go on the outside. It's probably best to do it on the inside, right about there, and let go. And when I subdivide it, you can see it's got a nice crisp edge there. And we could take a look at this. Let's give it a little shininess and see what we got going here so far. Alright, not too bad. We're going to go on to the next step. Alright, let's go ahead and switch this material here. And we're going to go ahead and make the top of this piece here. We've got one for the engine, and I don't know what the other piece is, but anyway, we'll select the primitive, and we're going to make sure let's go into make sure we're in wireframe mode here. And we're going to select the cylinder, and I'm going to hold the shift key, and I'm going to snap to about right here on this point, and I'm going to drag about how fat I want this, something like this. Looks alright. I'm going to click one time and pull out how long I want it. And let's say I want it to about right here, and I'm going to click one time, and there's going to be some options over here. Now what I'm looking at is I'm looking at this top piece. We'll call this big round piece the top piece, then the cylinder here, and I want to kind of make the edges flow with the other edges, like this one here. I want it kind of close to that one, and if we adjust this, you can see how this is getting closer. Okay, that's close enough. That's all I needed. So I'm going to validate that, and I'm going to bring this over here, and let's bring this up here. And we'll kind of scoot this back a little bit. Let me top view. I want to go ahead and scoot this back. That looks good right there. Alright, now I'm going to Control A to select both. Face mode. Now pay attention, I'm going to select 4 faces here. Hold the shift key, click, 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 and click. Then I'm going to select 4 back here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Alright. Then I'm going to use the ridge tool. And we're going to get something like that. And we're going to subdivide it and take a look. It looks alright. I want to bring it up just a little bit. I'm going to Control Z that. I'm going to hold Shift click to deselect that. And we'll Shift click to select this one. So we'll bridge that, see what it looks like. Okay, a lot better. I think I can live with that. So I subdivide it and we'll have something like that. Alright, another thing is I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to select this face, this face, this face, and this face. And I'm going to hold the Control key and grab this red cube and scale inwards a little bit. Alright. Might need to go into selection mode because I'm going to be extruding inwards just a little bit. And before I do this, I'll give it one subdivision level. And I'm going to hold the Control key and click this blue arrow once and drag it in. Alright, let's Control Z that. I shouldn't have clicked that. So Control key and drag in to about right here. Then I'm going to select this edge here and loop it again, and I'm going to hold the Control key and just click this arrow here. It's going to put an edge real tight. Let's take a subdivision level look. Let's scale it down just a little bit. And we can get something like that out of the back. If we don't like that, we can always Control Z that. Let's go back into world mode here. I want to kind of change my mind. I want to kind of scale this in just a little bit like this. Both of these. Control key, grab the cube. Control key, and we're going to extrude this in just a little bit. Let go, bring it in. And when it's all the way in, just click the arrow again. It's going to put another edge right there, so it's going to be something like that. Oh, it looks a little bit better. Let's take a look at it with some shiny material, and we're in smooth mode. Alright, that looks a lot better. Alright, sometimes throughout the video I pause the video, but I leave nothing out, so I'll go into the next step here, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and close this hole by just clicking it. Do not press all, so it'll close this back one for right now, so just click here and validate that. And we'll bring this face back just a little bit because we're going to do some extruding right here. And we're just going to see how this is going to look. I'm going to use this one here, and let's go, let's say click here. We'll bring it out to about right here. Click. I'll go on the side view. Sometimes you have to tap spacebar and it'll cycle through these over here on the right. So if I tap spacebar, I'm going to this direction. And I'm going to click real close there and bring it out. Click here, bring it out just a little bit. Click. And I'm going to tap the spacebar so it goes down like. So I can make this hole right here. And we'll click. Tap the spacebar, bring it out just a little bit, click. I'm going to tap the spacebar again, click. And make a little point, click. Tapping the spacebar, and I'm going to bring it real close and double click. And we'll have something like that. And you can kind of make something like that, which is kind of cool. Alright, and for the back here, what I'll do is just go ahead and select this one here, shift click this edge, and we'll just kind of bring this back something like that. Then we're going to loop this, and what I'm going to do is, I got it here, I'm going to add some thickness to this by just faking it. So I'm going to hold the control key and just grab the scale of this cube here, and I'm going to let go of the by clicking, but the control key is still held down, and I'm going to drag inwards, something like that. Alright, and let me control Z that. We might need to go into selection mode. Let's try that again. Control key, drag in. Alright, let's go back into world mode. There it goes, it's working. Now, had a little problem there. I'm going to subdivide this, let's say to 2, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to scale this out where it pops outside the wall of the cylinder here, and bring it back just where it comes inside. Okay, that's all I need to do. Alright, now what I'm going to do is right here, we're going to loop this, and we're going to need to loop that again, and we need to make this kind of hard edge too, so we'll select the second one here and bring it in really close. Let me zoom way in, you might not be able to see it. Now I'm scaling, I'll zoom out. I am scaling inwards, not outwards. Alright, I'll click about let go right there and subdivide it and take a look. And now you can see how that kind of looks like that. Got some fake thickness, and we have a tube like that. Alright, we'll start working on the bottom here. When I subdivide it, I actually don't want the bottom to look like the top on this ball here, so we'll make this a little bit different, and let's go ahead and bring this up here, move that, and I'll just go ahead, let's change some materials here, and we'll grab this and loop it. Let's kind of grab this cube and sprawl this out a little bit, and let's take a look. Alright, a little bit different. Let's go ahead and select, let's loop this here. I want to select some of these right here too. I want to bring this up a little bit. Just to make a little bit different. Alright. Then we'll work on this bottom piece here. What I'm going to do is just go ahead and flip this thing all the way around. And we're going to repeat this for the bottom here. And actually what I can do, let me get a side view here. I'm going to go ahead and turn on the activate transparency, and we're going to rob part of this one here. Control C, Control V. And what I'll do is let's go ahead and close this hole. Let's get a side view here, and what I'll do is this one, I think we'll go back a little bit further. Alright, then what I'll do is hold the control key and drag out, let go, keep on doing it, let go. Kind of make them a little bit evenly spaced. Let's try, let's bring this one back a little bit. I'm trying to make all these kind of evenly spaced. Not necessary, but when I bridge it, I might need it. Alright, that looks good there. Let me bring that out just a little bit more. Control A this, and we'll select here, 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 and here. And do the same for here, 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 and here. 4 on 4, okay? And bridge it. Subdivide that, take a look. Alright, looks a lot better there. Alright, I'm going to do something different to the back here on this one here. Activate transparency, face mode, and I'll right click. And we'll drag to about right here. I had soft selection on earlier, so as I paused the video. And I'll just delete that. And what I'm going to do, let's collapse DG here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to close this hole by clicking it. Select the face, and we're going to use this one here. We need to go on the side view because I want this kind of bevel back just a little bit, kind of like a jet engine. And just double click and that'll finish that off. Then what we'll do is delete that face, kind of do the same thing we did on this other one. We'll loop this, hold the control key, scale in, control key, and drag this way. Let's get it some subdivision of, let's say 2, and bring it where it comes out, then bring it just back in just a little bit. And we'll select this here to give it a nice crisp edge. We'll loop this, loop it again, edge tool, scale inwards, and we'll subdivide it like that. And we can have something like that. If you want to, not necessary, but if you want to, we can ring this, reuse the connect or the hotkey, and kind of make it uniform like the other ones. So and we can have something like that. Which looks a lot better. Let's flip this guy around a little bit. Hold the shift key. Let's take a look at it with some nice shiny material, and then double click to select off it to kind of see how it looks this way, which is looking a lot better. Alright, we're going to go ahead and bump up the geometry here, and we're going to add some windows hit. So we're going to go to Subdivision 2, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to collapse the geometry here by the lightning bolt. When I do that, once you collapse it, you can't go back, okay, unless you press undo. And what I want to do is I want to select, let's stagger these ones right here and loop these. And when you loop them, you'll have an option down here to select something like that. Then what I'm going to do is hold the control key, and I'm going to grab this red cube. And when I do this, I'm going to grab it and drag in just a little bit. Let go, drag in a little bit more, and when I get right there, I'm going to do it one more time and click, okay? And we're going to have kind of windows all the way around this. So when I subdivide it again, I could have something like that if I wanted to. Alright, let's say I wasn't happy with that. Let's Control Z that. You know, I could leave it like that. That looks alright like that. So what I'm going to do is I think I'm going to leave it like this. It looks good enough. And if I wanted to do it different, I would do different extrusions on this to keep the edges, either click them further apart or closer together. For me to explain that, I'd have to redo it, but I think I'm gonna be happy with this one here. Let's go in smooth mode, and we're gonna have something like this. Alright. Now we're going to need to set up a shading domain. Alright, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to select a face here, and I'm going to loop it again, and I'm going to tip it like this, and I'm going to drag off on over here and hold the control key down, and when I do, I'm not clicking over here. I got the control key held down. You can tell when the manipulator changes. I'm going to drag upwards like this, and hopefully it's selected all these, and we're going to go over here and press new. For this to see how it's working, we're going to hide, and you can see my new shading domain. This will allow me to go in some other packages to apply a material, just this part right here, like it was a separate object, but this is not separate. And, you know, we can do the same for the bottom. We can set up shading domains for this area here. Let's loop this twice. Let's go ahead and hide this one here. And, you know, we can do stuff like that if we decide we want to. Let's try this one here. So, like I said, sometimes you got to double click, and it's not going in the direction, so I'm probably going to have to manually do this. So I'll just go around like this real quick. It doesn't take a whole lot of time. Just holding the shift key down and just dragging. And when I get to the edge here, I kind of don't want to get down in the bottom down there, so I've got to be kind of careful. And when I get done like that, make sure I haven't got nothing else selected. I'm going to select new. And if we hide that, you can see now we got that part there. Now we got two different parts that we can apply the shading domain to. Let's give this one a little bit different color. And we can do this to any part of this Star Trek ship that we want to. Again, we'll just kind of see what it kind of looks like. I probably would want to put some in here. That would probably look good. Maybe separate the engine with some shading domain, but I'm not going to get that far in depth. Well, I went ahead and paused the video, and I did add some more shading domain. So this top piece here, as you can see here, and as you can see, I made the windows by inserting right here. You don't actually have to extrude to make these windows. You can do it by a shading domain, which I did here. And in some applications, it'll allow you to apply a material with transparency. And you really don't have to do the extrusion down here where the windows should have been at. I'm going to put a set of windows up here just to take a look at it. And we're going to set the transparency here. And it's not far enough, so let's go ahead and just crank that up quite a bit. And we'll go into smooth mode. As you can see, we got a little bit of transparency. You can see down in it. Really don't want a whole lot of transparency, so might be a little hard to see in a video, but then we'll have something like that. Alright, we're going to go ahead and I'm going to go ahead and go into the next step. Just let you take a look at it here. Alright, what I did was I saved the ship here as an OBJ and imported it into Carrera here. And before I did that, I went to Global Illumination here, and I selected one of this coronet here and loaded this scene, deleted the coronet and the two spheres, and changed up the the pattern for the floor here, and the pattern for this floor here is done through this shader here. And what I did was took a screenshot of Hexagon and loaded it, and you load the image through here to load the image. Then what you need to do is you need to go to edit, and you want to turn off the tile. You don't want it to tile on there. Okay? And since we got our shading domain, we can actually click and drag certain areas that we want to add some stuff to. And let's try this one here. And I'm just kind of eyeballing this. I think I want this one here. Put that one there. Let's see what else we got. We'll go into the shaders and glass. Let's select this one for the glass up here. And I don't know, let's try to get this little piece here. I'm going to select the camera here, and we'll right click and let it render out. Give it a few seconds. It ain't take too long. Then you'll get something like that. I think the one that I want to change is, I want to change this one here to that one there. I think that's going to work. And just about done. Let's check the let's check this little piece right here real quick. Alright, something like that. Probably do a little bit of adjustment on the transparency on the front for the glass here, but that's something you got to tweak with. But I think this is pretty much going to wrap it up. I'll probably do one more render for you all right here so you can see a little bit better, and then we're going to call it quits. And thank you very much.